And it can't just be, it can't be dark clouds and thunderstorms all the time. There's always something, there's beauty even in a thunderstorm, right? Like
Mm.
we can look for the things that make life worthwhile to keep going, even when you're going through the tough stuff. And I think that does make it easier when you come through it, that you can look back and go, okay, well, it wasn't all horrible, but actually that thing that happened was pretty funny now that I, like you say, now that I have some distance from it. That was just goofy what we did, or what we said or how I responded to that. That was ridiculous. And it is funny. Yeah.
And don't we sometimes even know in the moment, sometimes I'm kind of there, I know like this is now really stupid, but I can still not stop myself always from
Yes.
doing it. But and usually in that moment, the process is a bit faster, right? Because already in the moment I was quite aware,
Yes.
but still have done it one more time. And I
Mhm.
love the thunderstorm analogy because thunderstorms don't last forever, right? It's in their nature that they're
Yeah.
there for some time, usually a few minutes, and then they passed on. What I would like to dive into a bit is this, let's say, rage, anger. I think they're not exactly the same, probably, but you wrote this book. I think your latest one is The Rise of Rage.
That's correct.
Love the title with the
too.
alliteration. But it sounds to me like anger and rage is often seen as something that, again, we would want to learn to manage, and that might not be the most positive if we want to give it that label, emotion. Still, the opposite might be being silent, right? So for example, I believe that I never really learned to be angry until recently. So that's also not what we want, right? I mean, where is anger and rage helpful? I mean, I understand if we need to defend ourselves for our lives, right? That's probably a situation, but I think we wouldn't want to extinct anger and rage.
No. Think about what would happen if you extinguished fear. Kids would be touching hot stoves. They'd be running out into traffic.
Yeah.
Idiots would be feeding bears in the wild. I just saw a video.
You're
I'm
Canadian,
sorry.
right?
I
The
just
bear
I
is
just saw a video of
Canada.
someone
Yeah.
hand feeding a grizzly. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Even I can see from behind the camera that this is a bad idea. So he throws the grizzly a couple of things, and the grizzly's like, thanks. But then the grizzly starts doing this. I'm like, run. It's like the slow-mo of a scary movie. And next thing you know, he's just poop, and the camera drops and the video dies. And I'm thinking,
The video dies, or?
oh yeah. Well, I don't know if the videographer died, but whoever was taking the camera was so frightened, or taking the pictures, I apologize, was so frightened that they just dropped the camera, and that's the end of the video. That's all we see. So hopefully the person survived, because this video was circulating virally on the internet. But why would we do that? Because that fear switch got switched off someplace. And we just thought, oh yeah, swimming with alligators is a good idea. Swimming with sharks on the bucket list. Absolutely not. I don't want any of my firsts to be, oh, the first time I fed a grizzly was the time I lost my hand. No. You know what I mean? We have to exert a little bit of common sense here. So fear is important because it alerts us to danger. Anger is important because it alerts us to problems. And no one has ever taught me that. Anger was always a response to misbehavior. And I guess if I had put it together then, I would have figured that out, that my misbehavior was a problem. But it's a response to people not respecting the rules of the road. But when you think about it, there are actually 4 reasons why we get angry. They are all problem signals. Problem number 1, someone has broken a rule. Problem number 2, someone has violated a boundary. Problem number 3, my needs or my expectations are not being met. Problem number 4, I'm trying to achieve a goal and you're getting in my way. So when you think about that, if you're driving in traffic and the speed limit is 60 km per hour and you have to get somewhere, and someone is driving 30 in a 60 zone, they're breaking a rule.
And opens the car door. Sorry, that's an
I was gonna
inside.
bring that up.
It just happened before we got here. Yeah.
Right. And the response of the driver was commensurate with that, right? Like,
Yeah.
he was like, don't ever do that again.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're breaking a rule. The car is moving. Don't do that. So there's that. And if someone touches a pregnant lady's tummy without asking permission, that's a boundary violation. But it's also a boundary violation to, I'm sorry, I don't know why. It must be Amsterdam rubbing off on me. But to
Tell
text
us.
a woman
Yeah.
and ask her what are the color of her areolas, like, we don't do that. That's a boundary violation. You know, I was in a session today about dating apps, and I was telling the author afterwards that I watched this video of, there's a guy on Instagram who does videos. He turns the bad Tinder conversations into songs. He's absolutely hilarious. But he featured a song where a man texted someone he had met on Tinder and said, come on over, I'll get you pregnant. Her eyes bugged out, and I was like, exactly. That's inappropriate. That's a boundary violation. We don't even know each other. We haven't met each other yet. How dare you, you know?
And we should get angry. Is that what you're saying? Or
it's a signal to a problem. And anger is on a continuum, the same way that fear is. Some things you might be a little nervous about. Other things you might be terrified of. Feeding a grizzly bear, terrified. Crossing the street in Amsterdam, a little nervous. Do you see the difference? But it's still fear. Whereas anger, it starts off as perhaps annoyance, irritation, frustration, and then it just keeps going up the scale. So you get to anger, and then beyond anger, there might be...
so rage is not?
Rage is higher up
it's even
on
higher.
The continuum. So you might have angry, you might have mad. Aggression is behavior, not emotion. Right? So if we're just looking at the emotions, then we're going upwards to rage, and beyond rage is fury. And beyond fury, you might be livid, right? So all of those words are really just there to help we humans with thus higher order thinking to conceptualize just how angry you are, right? If you say I flew into a rage, people know I was mad, right? They're big mad, as Stephen Colbert likes to say. But if I'm just like, so annoying, it's not the same, right? And so when I say something is annoying, people can understand through the language that I'm angry about it, but not that much. Whereas if I say something made me livid, then they're thinking maybe we should avoid Julie for a couple of days until she cools off. Do you know